the meeting to order of the September 27th regular school board meeting to order. Roll call, please. Zach?
Stacy? Here. Vinny?
Here.
Knoble?
Here.
Kern?
Here.
None here. Wilmsmeyer?
Here.
Lineker?
Here.
Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation given by Pastor Jared Corzine with Unity Baptist Church. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to invite you to bow your heads. God, we come to you tonight asking for guidance, and we ask for the guiding spirit that comes from you to gather opinions. Lord, we pray for a spirit of listening and unity. And Lord, most of all, we pray that the business and the items taken care of here tonight would lead to greater encouragement of our teachers, our faculty and staff, and especially, Lord, most importantly, for the betterment of our students. God, we thank you for every child, every teenager, and we pray that you would continue to strengthen our wonderful community through our school district. Please preside over everything tonight. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate it. Thank you. Pastor, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you again. Good to see you. Item number 4 tonight is public comment. Do we have any members of the public here for public comment? Hearing none, I would ask Superintendent Can to give a totally unrehearsed, because we didn't talk about this.
I'm okay.
Would you mind giving a plug for the teachers, subs, and everything that we need right now, bus drivers, everything else out there in this community, that if anybody is out there can help, we would appreciate it?
I'm getting ready to do a pleading video tomorrow, introducing a campaign that we're going to be doing, trying to feature some of our amazing teachers, parapros, cooks, custodians, administrators, just trying to get parents, our families in the area, if they want to get involved with their student and with the school, there are so many ways to do so. We are so short on available people to help out when those positions aren't filled. It's becoming more and more difficult every day. It's a great job. Who doesn't want to work with kids? So like I said, I'll have one out tomorrow. It'll also start with the listing positions, the pay, the flexibility, the hours. But I just can't tell you how much it would mean to have actual people from the community in there helping with our own students as well. It's just so vital to the growth and development of these kids. So we would really appreciate it. So that's my plug.
Stay-at-home parent, grandparent, anybody,
Anyone.
you've heard the plea, so please help us out. We would appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
No.
Sorry for putting you on the spot.
No, I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Video.
Item number 5 is approval of the minutes of the August 23rd, 2022 board meeting.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Consent agenda, item number 6. You have items in front of you for the treasurer's report, bill list, and gifts. You want to say anything about the gifts,
Well,
sir?
I won't go through them all, but I was just overwhelmed that there are 13 of them. Gifts from different organizations and people, churches throughout the community that have just given back, either supplies, anything that we need or we ask for. Someone's always there in a monetary way or with some kind of supply. Once again, I'm just incredibly grateful for people that give back to the community. So.
The proposal for the baseball dugout and the bullpen.
Oh, right.
Look amazing. I spent a lot of time hanging on the edge of that fence watching baseball, so that'll be really nice. So thanks to the Alumni Association.
The Alumni Association does an amazing. I just had my 40th class reunion. Anyway, but we encouraged everyone to join the Alumni Association because they do give directly back to the school district. I mean, they do projects and things. Mr. Willerath does an amazing job right now as president, so we're really impressed with what they do too. So thanks, Zach, for bringing that up.
Fantastic. Under the bill list, I guess I just had one question. Zach, and I sent a note earlier, just there was a rebate that was given.
That was in the solar agreement, that we would give that rebate over to them I didn't wanna just sign the check over, so what I did was I deposited it and then cut them a check to keep the audit trail clear. So somebody didn't say, why did you just sign that check over? So that was that, and the other one was just, Primergy is our electricity supplier for most schools now.
Very good. Okay. Are there any other questions on any of these items, or are we ready to approve the entire consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Holmesmeyer.
Aye. Item 8A, rescind retirements and resignations.
Mr. President, the board, it is recommended that the following retirements and resignations be rescinded. Shirley Lake, Cafe GCHS, effective 6/30/24.
So moved. Second?
I don't know. Yeah, that's right. We'll just take one at a time.
I have them on the sheet is together.
Oh, you do?
If that's,
I would have read them, but it was.
I don't know if that's something we're allowed to do.
Well, maybe it's together.
No, you didn't.
Rescinding.
Well, they're together.
We'll just go one at a time here.
Okay.
Let me do another one.
We have a motion and a second on that. Roll call, please.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Holmesmeyer.
Aye. Item 8B, retirements and resignations.
It is recommended that the following retirements and resignations be accepted. Antonia Dima, paraprofessional Grigsby, resignation effective 9/15/22, and Shirley Lake Cafe Coolidge, retiring 9/20/22.
So moved. They can have it.
Motion by Linda, seconded by Erica. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Nunn, I, Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Holmesmeyer.
Aye. Item 8C, requests for leaves of absence.
It is requested the following requests for leaves of absence be approved. Frank Haynes, Monitor Lake School, effective 9/9/22 to 12/2/22. Heather Hader, teacher, Prather Pre-K, effective 8/17/22 to 11/9/22. Lisa Dean, Secretary Admin Office, effective 9/19/22 to 9/23/22. Anita Creek, teacher at Wilson, effective 9/12/22 to 11/30/22.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, Holmesmeyer.
Aye. Item 8D, requests for extension to leaves of absence.
Sorry.
That's right.
It is recommended that the following requests for extension to leaves of absence be approved. Andrea Heilman, teacher at Grigsby, effective 11/29/22 to 4/11/23.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, Stacy,
Aye.
Holmesmeyer.
Aye. Item 8E, extracurricular resignations for the 22-23 school year.
Mr. President, the board, you've received detailed information about the item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. We recommend the following extracurricular resignations be accepted for the 22-23 school year. Ms. Denise Stout, first quarter lunch duty, Wilson School. Jennifer Randazzo, first quarter lunch duty, Wilson School.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Holmesmeyer.
No. Aye, I'm sorry. Item 8F, extracurricular assignments for the 22-23 school year.
The GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurriculars for the 22-23 school year. Carissa Warfield, assistant cheer advisor, Coolidge. Mason Baker, assistant wrestling coach, Granite City High School. Jennifer Randazzo, first quarter lunch duty, Wilson. And Amy Bailey, first quarter lunch duty, Wilson.
So moved.
Second.
Well, that was a tough crowd there. Pulling it out here.
I just have a question.
Yes.
So, one of the names on here had just resigned from the same position prior,
On a previous.
Yeah, I was wondering that as well.
Yeah, she, I think my understanding
mind?
was she started it for a very, very, very short time, then resigned.
But it says that she's resigned here, and then here she wants
so
it.
she's picking it back
Is
up?
she getting it again?
No, we had to hire, my understanding was, we had to hire her and then resign her, because there was a big gap in between.
But they're out of third opposite order.
Okay.
So Jim, do you have any comment on that? Mr. Parker?
What is your name?
She is not being approved for duty she had put in, which is why I was on here, but then resigned. So accepting the resignation technically should have been after the appointment, but
Okay.
either way, she's not doing it.
Okay,
Okay.
that's, we just wondered about the
Okay,
way,
thank
the
you.
order they were in, thank you.
Thanks for bringing it up, Erica, good catch. All right, we've got a motion and a second, roll call please.
Kern?
Aye.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Vinny?
Abstain because my husband's a wrestling coach.
Knoble?
Aye.
Wamsmeyer?
Aye. Item 8G, certified and classified substitutes.
Yay. Good, sorry, I had to
Yeah.
say that first.
That's all right.
It is recommended the following applicants be board approved as substitutes for the 22-23 school year. Certified, Kara Denton Mendez, Amy Taplin, Deborah McMillan, Helen Thomas, and Karen Schwendeman. There we go. Classified, Tiffany Bevan, Corey Levart, Christina Warden, Laura Lemler, Donald O'Brien, Donna Watkins, Monica Leone, Melissa Ray, and Norieva Aaron.
So moved.
Thank you.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
Keep them coming.
Yeah,
There you go.
we are, we're trying.
Roll call please.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Vinny?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
Wamsmeyer?
Aye. And item 8H, student workers.
Okay, the administration is recommending the following student workers or co-ops for the 22-23 school year. I have to say, we're very excited to be able to do this too, so I'm gonna start these. Dylan Alexander, Leonardo Barrera Rebeles, Osiris Chico Borges, Valeria Duca Figueroa, Maria Garcia Ayebar.
So moved.
Second.
I love all those names.
I know, and I tried really hard, I went to
And you did well.
make sure how to do it.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call please.
Stacy?
Aye.
Vinny?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
None, aye. Wamsmeyer?
Aye. And one question on that, do we know where they're gonna be working?
Yes, these are the ones that are working in tech, if Ms. Lockett, is that correct, working with Chromebooks?
I believe so.
Which is really,
Awesome.
I know, we
It's
really
been a
need
long
them.
time since we've had co-ops.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's nice because, you know, they wanna do it, they're part of the community, it's nice, so we're excited.
Wonderful. Excellent, all right, employment, under employment, human resources and ED team, item I.
Due to an increased interest in enrollment in the welding program, which is fantastic, by the way, an additional section is necessary to meet the demand. Permission is requested to approve the 6-hour assignment for GCHS teacher Mark Jones to teach one section of welding for the fall 22-23 semester.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I will tell you that we offer 2 of the 3 classes, see if I get this right, Ms. Rand, that are necessary to get a welding certificate. And I know that SWIC is offering a 3rd one now and in the spring, and they would already be able to work at some of the places.
Meeting with her tomorrow.
He's meeting with them. So pretty excited about that too.
Fantastic. It's good to see the trades and
I know.
things on the industrial side. I think we've got a motion and a second?
We do.
All right, roll call please.
Vinny?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Wamsmeyer?
Aye. And item I2, 6-hour assignment, adaptive PE assignment.
Permission is requested to approve the following 6-hour assignment for Daniel Robinson to teach the Grant City High School for the 22-23 school year. The number of students who require this accommodated class has grown exponentially, also from move-ins as well too, not just within the district, and requires the class to be split due to student need and safety concerns. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Knoble?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Vinny?
Aye.
Wamsmeyer?
Aye. Item I3, employment of high school business teacher.
The interview committee, consisting of Christy Mode, Stacy Miller, Tim Moran, Steve Mathis, request board approval to hire Miss Melanie Lohman for the GCHS business teacher for the 22-23 school year, pending required paperwork.
Are we not going? We are, right.
Thank you.
Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call please.
Kern?
Aye.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Vinnie?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Wondermeyer?
Aye. And item number 4, under I, 6-hour assignment for ESSC Lake.
Permission is requested to approve the following 6-hour assignment for the alternative school at Lake Educational Support Center. Driver safety is a requirement for graduation, so this will meet that requirement for our high school students who attend Lake School. Approval is recommended for Jacob Jan to teach one section of driver safety for a 9-week period.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Vinnie?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Curran?
Aye.
Wondermeyer?
Aye. Item number 9, old business. A, the AAIC contract approval.
Okay, I'll give a little bit of this, and then if my multi-grade level people would like to, give a little bit on this as well. I know that, in fact, if you just want to take it from you, we've met as a committee for the multi-grade level schools, Erica and Tala and myself, and,
Yep, so we are, hoping to, obviously not rush things, because whatever we decide, we want to do it and do it well. But we've already begun meeting to explore options, and the next step is really to see what would be feasible, sustainable, and fiscally sound for us. And so we're ready to move forward with an architectural firm, and get some rendering, some kind of preliminary things, like we're not doing like super detailed things, but just to see what could we do with these spaces. We're still in the very early stages, but we are operating with the hope and the goal to return to multi-grade level centers. As long as it's, don't misquote me, I'm not trying to be an Aldi and have everybody show up, like, oh, we're going back to neighborhood schools. No, we're looking into it and we're trying to do it,
the right.
but this is gonna be a multi-year process, and so,
To do it right. That's right.
I think
To
we're
do it
stepping in the
correctly.
right direction. As a parent who lives right behind my child's school, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also responsible and wanna make sure that we do things right so that it's sustainable and can hold in the future. After we secure funding, of course, too. Tell them
Ditto.
anything else? I didn't agree.
What she
But the
said.
library, like you said, you went through kind of a similar process, I thought was interesting.
Yes, we, as far as this architect, these are like 50% architectural drawings. So the idea is that we can get a basic overview of maybe which buildings need additions or whatever may happen during this process so that we can move forward with hopefully something like neighborhood schools. It's again, we've got to go revisit that it's not 40 or 50 years ago. We don't have the same number of buildings. So, but we're gonna try to get as close as we can to that. I think we'll have something that people will approve of. And, but the library did something similar when we renovated back in 2013, 2014. And so it was spending money to get these architectural drawings so that we then had a plan. Now ours turned into, we actually got some grant money off of that, but even if we had lost the grant, the idea was that, okay, we've got a plan moving forward. We can attack this when we can attack it. So, anyway, I'm highly optimistic on all of this. I think it's good. It's gonna take, a few years, but we're not talking 10 years either, so.
Right.
The idea is some kids in school will get to experience this once again, so.
And I appreciate the two of you taking this on in your committee, because it's not an easy one. We've been where we are right now, the Learning Center, for a number of years under this current setup, and you're right, it's just not like flipping a switch to jump back into multi-grade level buildings, especially when we have fewer today than what we had years ago. So, and certain facilities, certain buildings are not geared for older students necessarily, and so I think it's a very pragmatic approach here that's being taken to understand the buildings themselves, what those limitations are, what needs to be done to those in order to see if this is even feasible. So, very good.
So the scope of this contract with the architects is just to evaluate the buildings to see if we move towards a multi-grade level, what schools would need what.
Right, that we have some, to get those basic ideas, and
Right.
to get some idea what a budget looks like, even with the cost of construction right now. Just so we have some feasibility, what are we looking at? To be able to get the funding, to know what we need.
Yeah,
We can't go after unless we know what we're gonna.
unless you have a good ballpark figure on what you're gonna need to spend. And this is not, like detailed
No.
engineering drawings or anything like that. That's another level. This is, you know, you'll get nice drawings, you'll get, some detailed information.
This is
but-
dipping our toes in the water.
Yes.
That makes sense, yeah.
Right.
Rather than a can of
Yeah.
And then anything we do have from them, if we do go with that, then we already have those plans that we can use too, moving forward. And this does kind of lead into the next one we have to vote for, so the discussion leads into the next one. Any more?
Yeah, any questions on this?
This will still be able to address our parents who move quite a bit as well. We'll still have a handle on the particular families that seem to have that momentum of moving from one school to the other. We had that in the past when we did have our neighborhood school, and it was just as they moved from one school to another, the child's information went to that school. So there's always that nice trade-off that we're gonna
Mhm.
still maintain that ability to keep track of kids.
Oh,
You know, and know that their information will follow them.
yeah, I think we have some ideas, we talk a lot.
We do.
We've been there late, well,
Very good. I will need, for this to move forward, a motion and a second on this.
So moved.
Second?
Any additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Stacy?
Aye.
Vinnie?
Hi.
Knoble?
Aye.
Curran?
Aye.
None, aye, Wormsmeyer.
Aye. Item 9B, Insight Education.
This item was tabled at the board meeting on August 23rd. We are seeking to approve, to enter into an agreement with Insight Education for the strategic planning for GCSD9. It's a 5-year plan. It goes directly, I think, with what we were just talking about too. There's the amount of stakeholder organization that's involved. It's very transparent. It'll involve not just multi-grade level schools, it'll involve anything we want to do with buildings and grounds, just where we're going, what the vision is, and it involves everybody within stakeholders within the community. So I've given you documents shared with you from my neighboring districts. You have those as well, and their planning information. You were lucky to be able to know people in that district. So approval is recommended at this point.
I like the idea that we do have people in the community being involved in this.
Oh, they will be.
You know,
Like, that's the whole point.
That is unique, and we've already had some sharing from another district that has been involved in it, and I understand that there are like 24 school districts across 4 states that we can interact with and find out what works, what doesn't work, you know, what things are the best. And I just like that kind of holistic approach.
And Dick, you said something about being able to use the public and having their kind of input
Yeah.
in these different things, and it's transparent third parties, so they actually bring the people together. So there's someone else helping get this moving, so.
Yeah, I think Linda and I can, and Stephanie as well, can talk about the Citizens Advisory
Right.
Committee and how that ties into getting more public input on the strategic plan, so that's
And from there,
exciting.
it'll be forming committees, it'll be
Yes,
having their
yes.
input. So I know people have been waiting, but this is the perfect opportunity
Right.
to get that going, and then we develop all those things that come out of this. The strategic planning is how we move forward with all that communication within the district, so.
And we hope there's a lot of energy out there
Oh,
that
I went through the process.
that we're
I
gonna
loved
tap
it.
to make this happen.
A lot of people, hopefully.
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Vinnie?
Oh, aye. Sorry.
Knoble?
Aye.
Curran?
Aye.
None, aye, Stacy? Aye. Wormsmeyer.
Aye. And item 9C, SM Wilson Congress.
SM, we are seeking the agreement. This is, I'm gonna have Tom refer to this a little bit. Anytime we have a contract, a standard, American Institute of Architects, right, AIA?
Yes.
Okay, their standard contracts. This is for SM Wilson. We've discussed, they've been helping us with project management. It's oversight for, in particular, this one for the softball field project, to make sure all the subcontractors are together. They provide, they've actually gone through the bids that we just opened. We're not ready for any cost because we're still going through that. This is to approve their part as a project manager in their oversight. So that is what this particular contract, of which Tom has looked through thoroughly.
This one as well as the previous one,
Mr.
just have
School.
looked at, and it's pretty much the AIA contracts are standard in the industry. And this one is in particular is to approve it for a construction manager, which S.M. Wilson would act as our eyes and ears on the ground out there, making sure that everything is built to spec. And the terms are favorable. They get 4% of the total project cost, and we can use our people, so if there's something Eric Smith says that his guys can do, and we have every right to do that, that comes off top of the project cost. But they're standard contracts.
And that is what Eric and I did today. Since we opened bids, we did look to see if maybe there's something that we can do, trying to save some money here. And that's why we're
Using
still
our
in
own
that
guys.
process.
Mhm.
We're not sure, it might, at some point it might not be cheaper to do that, but because of the product, but we are looking into that.
So moved.
Second.
Is this
Any
soccer-
discussion?
Oh,
Go ahead.
is it soccer
That's a
field?
practice field.
Practice field, okay. Thank you.
And I think we're gonna keep the berm there so we can keep the balls and stuff from
Mhm.
going into the room, which I
Roll call, please.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Holmesmeyer.
Aye. Item 10 under new business, A.
Permission is requested for the continuation of the school resource officer, SRO, for the 22-23 school year. It is recommended the SRO remain on the assignment of Coolidge Junior High School. Expenses for providing this program will be covered by the district. The costs are dependent upon the salary of the officer in this assignment, and approval is recommended, and we have a wonderful SRO Coolidge right here.
So moved.
Throw that out.
Second.
Any discussion?
And just so the board members know, the new board members that haven't done this before, these three, the one for Coolidge, the high school, as well as the Saber officer, these are the same contracts that have been in place for a number of years. They've been developed, I think probably, Eric helped me out, 18 years ago maybe, that's when we first brought him on board. But anyway, the reason why
I came here, so that's.
Really?
the reason the Lake School's not on here, whenever we brought back the summer and there were some fiscal issues, we entered into a 10-year agreement with the city on the Lake SRO. And I think we're in the second year of that.
Yes.
So that one does not have to be renewed, if anyone is wondering why it was not on here. Because the city wanted a commitment from the school district for their budgeting purposes that we wouldn't just do away with it 2 years later.
Right.
Approval is recommended.
So moved.
We already had it.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we got that. And Mr. Schooley, no reason that Eric cannot vote on these
Everything's
contracts?
on these.
Okay, very good. Just wanted to clarify
So the
that.
only difference then is the cost of the police officer's salary,
Right.
what
Yes.
he makes and then what we have.
Right, so every policeman's gonna make a little bit different, depending on how many years they've been here, depending on, won't depend on the rank in this case, because they're all, patrolmen, but, like, Officer Maui's been here 20-some odd years, he's gonna make just a little bit through longevity raises than, Officer Penny, who is, only been with us a couple years.
And with the driving force that caused this type of intergovernmental agreement to come about was, years ago, we had a police officer that got injured while on the job at the high school. And the issue came, who bore the cost of the workers' compensation? Was it the city or was it the school district? So if in this agreement, you'll note that there is a cap on the school district's exposure for those work comp claims, and that cap is for a total of $50,000. So if there is a serious injury, the city is bearing the primary
Yeah,
cost.
we had an officer, the last year I was in the school, who got hurt in a fight, and he was out
Yeah.
quite some time, so.
And the agreements have worked out really nice, and both the city as well as the school district have benefited from these types of agreements.
And Officer Penny is our newest, that's why I called him out, but we are so fortunate to have some amazing SROs in our school district, I wanted to make sure.
And the students need that so badly.
They have good relationships, I think it really helps.
Roll call, please, Zach.
Curran,
Aye.
none, aye. Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. Item 8B, SRO for Granite City High School.
Is that this one? I just have,
10B.
no, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be.
It's all the way through that contract.
Yeah, keep going.
Well, thank you, because I don't, yeah, I have C, but, okay, permission is requested for the continuation of the school resource officer for the 22-23 school year. It is recommended the SRO meeting agreement at Granite City High School. Expenses for providing this program will be covered by the district. The costs are dependent upon the salary of the officer in this assignment. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
None, aye. Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. Item 10C, Saber Officer at Grigsby.
Permission is requested for the continuation of the SABRE program for the 22-23 school year. It is recommended the SABRE officer remain in assignment at Grigsby Intermediate School. Expenses for providing this program will be covered by the district. The costs are dependent upon the salary of the officer in this assignment. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call.
Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
none, aye. Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. Item 10D, Proposed TRS Supplemental Savings Plan.
Authorization is requested to adopt the following resolution to enter into the TRS Supplemental Savings Plan. This is a new benefit offered to members. Mr. Shuri, would you care to offer some
It's just a
explanation?
new benefit for retirees or people or new employees as kind of their tier 3 type thing, but we have to do this.
What does it allow them?
It allows them to enter a supplemental savings plan a lot like the IMRF voluntary.
It is a requirement though through TRS.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
none, aye. Stacy,
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. Item 10E, Adoption of the 22-23 District Number 9 Budget. And somewhere, Mr. Schooley gave me instructions. There we go.
Don't do it enough.
Thank you. So I think we'll need a motion to temporarily adjourn the meeting
So moved.
Second?
and roll call. Now we just do it by acclamation.
Aye.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Very good.
Who's the second?
Who is the second?
I think
Linda.
I was.
Give it to Linda. So we're opening the public hearing now. I'll ask for public comment associated with this. And if there's no public comment on the budget, I'd ask maybe Zach to highlight some of the things. He said he would keep this to
He
4
did.
hours or less, so.
So let me go, hold on, I gotta go get my 500-page line item budget. I'm going to read it line by line.
Thorough, I like.
All right, bud.
So this is just our budget presentation. Chris, do you have a clicker?
Yeah.
You want to just take?
A surprise.
Just tell me when I don't have this.
I'll walk over there. Hold on. I can do this. So, real quick, this is just an overview. EBF increased by $650,000 this year. There is a slight change to that.
EBF is.
Evidence-based funding.
Thank you.
That is our general thing. We had a unique situation this year. We moved from a tier 1 funded school, which is under 60%, to a tier 2 funded school. Part of that is due to the next line in this where it said we had a $12 million increase to CPPRT. Now, that has been my arch nemesis since I've been here. It's up, it's down, it's all over the place. It unexpectedly doubled. Yes.
And for the viewers at home, CPPRT
Is corporate personal property replacement tax.
Thank you.
It unexpectedly doubled last year. They told us we were going to get $12 million, we got 24.
But it made us up.
So, but it's also slowed down all our projections on we were getting like 2.1 or $2.2 million of new EBF, evidence-based funding, every year. Now we're not. So we're throwing some of our long-term projections up, and we're going to try to figure all this out and work through how we're going to do this. The thing that scares me the most about corporate personal property replacement tax is one year they told me I was going to get $13 million and I got $7. It fluctuates. And I had one year they told me they overpaid us and you had to pay it back. So.
And because the CPPRT doubled, it took us to tier 2 with EBF, which is.
Yeah. Yes. So until everybody catches up, and well, I can do that at a different time. That could be an hour presentation for the funding formula. We're using $12 million of American Recovery Plan in here, used for student and staff devices for remote learning, COVID supplies, and retaining educational staff. There's also some other things I'll go down as I go through the list. We had competitive wage adjustments for minimum wage increase and our minimum teacher salary increase. That was already baked in to begin with our collective bargaining agreements and our plan. We put $1.5 million out of this year's budget into Grigsby's roof to complete that project. That carried over from last year. The girls softball field will come from Fund 20. That amount is still be determined as we're working on prices. I just didn't want to tell anybody what we were going to spend. We did the football turf. $1.5 million is in this budget. High school HVAC. I'm working with Eric Smith. We're looking at redoing all the HVAC in the high school with ESSER 3 or with ESSER 3 money. We kind of were both talking and we go, that's going to be a large amount of money, and we have the ability to do it all at one fell swoop instead of trying to piecemeal it with smaller amounts in years down the road. So when he asked, I go, yeah, I think we can do that. We hired 8 additional certified staff, including 2 COVID interventionists with ESSER 3 funds. We had a good year. We only had a 1% increase to our health insurance overall cost. We're looking at a camera system upgrade with ESSER 3 funds for about $1 million. We did the front of Coolidge in this budget for traffic solution at Coolidge, which is $350,000. We continued expansion of our summer school and after school programs. We'll offer extra sessions and after school tutoring with ESSER 3 funds. We put in driver's ed cars. The Volts are getting a little old and a little worn, so the driver's ed department is looking at new cars, and since it's taking forever sometimes to get a vehicle, we thought we'd try to get them going before we had a catastrophe. And then at the bottom of this, you can see additional increase in subpay. That was the one up there was the 12 to 13. This is the $13 to $15. This was the $3 increase or $2 increase over what was projected. So those are some things that are highlighted in this budget. You can see revenue by fund. This is just showing, this slide basically goes through, you can see how it works out. Most of our revenue goes into the ed fund, and then the rest is into Fund 20. Fund 10 is the ed fund, Fund 20 is O&M, operations and maintenance. And you can see that from the 2021 actual, we're projecting a little more revenue than we received last year. Expenditures by fund, obviously the 22-23 budget, we have a lot of expenditures popping into 20 for capital improvements, so that's why that is a dramatic increase. And also just the increases in other things allowed by American Rescue Plan funds and some more additional funds with CPPRT. But decent increases. Fund 10 revenue, you can see the major change is down there in corporate personal property replacement tax. It went from about $2 million almost up to $10 million. And we spread CPPRT out over a couple different funds. So other than that, federal is, the little uptick is we're spending a little more in American Rescue Plan funds. Everything else remained pretty stagnant. Fund 20 revenue, we bumped up CPPRT in there, as well as ESSER 2 or ESSER 3 funds. Sorry, I missed a 3, and that's accounts for the increase in revenue there. And I'm just going to highlight operating funds. Operating is ed, O&M, and transportation. That's pretty much where all the action happens. Fund 40, Same thing, we increased CPPRT just in case we needed to cover some of our increased expenditures. We haven't had a normal busing year in a while, so we're not quite sure where this is going to actually land when it does, but we want to be prepared. So when we look back to pre-pandemic to come up with those numbers. Fund 10 expenditures, obviously a slight uptick in salaries and benefits as we've had some wage increases, trying to stay competitive with sub rates and other rates. Everything else is pretty stagnant with few increased costs here or there, driver's ed cars, but everything else is pretty much where it was last year. Fund 20 expenditures, again, slight uptick in salary and benefits. The 300s shows down, that's purchase services. They put, in the grant, they wanted us to move a capital improvement into there because of, I don't know why. It wouldn't have been where I put it, but it's where they put it.
They tell you where to put it.
And I did. But 400 is about the same, which is supplies and materials. And then 500, you can see that is way up. That is hopefully going to be about $11 million of capital improvements throughout the district. And some of that will go into the following year as well. Fund 40 expenditures. You can see where the actual was. 300s is our purchase services. Everything we do is contractual with busing, so that all falls under purchase services. We budgeted a little. We came in under budget last year with some of the oddities that we've had in our transportation. It doesn't surprise me, but I just wanted to make sure we were covered for this year, so I bumped that budget up a little bit just so we weren't surprised. And the 400 supplies and materials, that has increased a little because fuel prices have increased. That's pretty much all gasoline or diesel. Items for consideration. When I did this budget, obviously staffing, maintaining competitive wages, doing what we need to do to make sure we keep attracting top-level staff that we have been. That's number one on most people's mind down here all the time. Infrastructure concerns / capital improvements. I did a lot of budget presentations with no infrastructure or capital improvements. I'm actually feeling pretty good that we're getting some stuff done. You can see some progress. It has been very nice. I feel pretty good. And we have some additional funds that if we had a catastrophic thing, we could fix or repair correctly, not just patch.
Good.
One-to-one sustainability. At some point, when the American Rescue Plan money runs out, we're going to have to probably look at how we do our one-to-one, analyze what's working, what's not working, and then kind of figure out what we can afford and what we can't afford. Hopefully we can keep it going for a long time. Scaling back after CARES and avoiding a financial cliff. We're in pretty good shape to do that right now. We will be able to back our way. We could take what we have from CARES that we can't just stop doing with staff, or if something's working, we don't want to stop it. We can pull those people back onto the district's budget right now pretty easily. And then analyze from there without having to do like a hard stop, like, oh, nope, this position is just gone. So we feel kind of really good. And then I will update some projections based on Tier 2 status. I'll probably do that when we do the levy, just to further explain how that's going to play out. It's a little odd to me. And then questions.
Balance.
I'm ready.
It's balanced.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, it's balanced. It's balanced.
Talk just a little bit, if you would, about the American Rescue Plan funding and what you foresee of how this starts to dwindle or phase out or what?
When, as we've done these, we've tried to get it to where it was capital. But you have to, we wanted to make sure we maintained low class sizes and that we provided additional learning opportunities for students after school, and that we could help where we needed and add the supports we needed for our staff. We've added duty teachers when they were eating in classrooms and stuff like that. We have done after-school programs, reading clubs. Coolidge has done after-school homework help.
Electives back.
Yeah, we brought electives back. We have done all kinds of stuff with this. So there's probably about let's just say $4 million of salaries that we have been able to flex up and provide lower class sizes and everything because of this. We've been able to buy devices. We've probably spent, I know the first $2 million that we got from the American Rescue Plan 1 or the CARES 1 went to devices and staff devices, because without it, we wouldn't have had the Chromebooks.
And hotspots.
And hotspots. That was the digital divide.
Right, but we still have.
The second one did a lot of networking stuff. It did more devices so we could rotate through. And then about $2.5–3 million of salary and after-school programs. We paid for 18 teachers that we retained last year out of the CARES 2. We flexed that up a little bit more this year. We're paying for about 38 staff members. So we have shifted some stuff, and it's kept class sizes lower and kept our building staffed.
Which has allowed us to do other things with
And-
that money than
yes.
for capital projects and
Yes.
such. So being able to put that money into salaries was very helpful for us.
Mhm.
Trying to make upgrades to the schools. And we foresee that for at least the immediate future.
We were able to retain our staff without having to reduce.
Did that also include the training of the staff in the very beginning?
All the
Did
extra
it-
They
hours
have
for
that-
tech.
Yeah.
Yes,
tech-
yes. There's tech support in there. There was a lot of student support in there.
For the tier 1 to tier 2 thing, I know you said CPPRT is like pretty random. If it goes back down next year, do we automatically go back to tier 1, or is there like a number?
Yes, we would. But here's my fear. With that, we go up based upon corporate personal property replacement tax. If it's EBF, the evidence-based funding formula is designed to where you can't go backwards. So they promise you your amount of EBF next year, and then once it increases, they promise it again. The problem with corporate personal property replacement tax is it's not guaranteed. If it goes down, then we would just be out that money. So if we had $12 million of additional staff used with that money and it went away, we wouldn't have $12 million. And corporate and EBF wouldn't come up to meet that number. We'd go back to probably getting $2 million a year. So it would take us 5–6 years to get back to that number. So what I'm trying to do is just make sure we have enough. If it goes back down, we have time with fund balances and reserves to where we're not making drastic cuts.
Are there restrictions between the evidence-based funding and the corporate personal property replacement tax? As far as what the money can be spent
Nope.
on or otherwise?
Nope. They're all considered general funds for us.
Other questions?
Just a comment, 2 comments. One is a great presentation, excellent overview. My little school finance brain was following everything you're saying, so thanks for that. And 2, as a longtime student and teacher here, especially when we were in our very lean times, I actually really enjoyed the budget presentation because it's good news. And it makes me feel very good as a citizen to know that we're being really smart and we're doing some really great things with what we have.
I cut the first 20 years I was here. When I was in
Yeah.
tech or finance,
Probably feels
I
good,
cut for
huh?
20 years.
Yeah.
The paper company should be paying us. Because we have cut paper so much, they should be paying us. But
Yeah.
I have cut for 20 years. I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Thank you.
Great job, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Zach. Appreciate
Thank you
that.
very much.
And again, I think this underscores the importance of what's gotten done here in the last couple of years from an infrastructure perspective, capital improvement perspective, and everything else. So I think the buildings are looking great, the district is looking great, so we appreciate that. Any additional questions? All right, if not, I will need a motion to reconvene the regular board meeting.
So moved?
Second.
And roll call, please.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, aye. Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Lonsdale.
Aye. And now I will need a motion to adopt the resolution and the District 9 budget.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Knoble,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, aye. Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Lonsdale.
Aye. And Mr. Schooley, thank you for walking me through all that.
He's very helpful.
I appreciate that. Item 10F is the FY23 School Maintenance Project Grant Program.
Yes, the administration is seeking authorization to apply for the School Maintenance Project Grant Program and to reserve $50,000 from Operations and Maintenance Fund 20 for matching funds required for the application. The School Maintenance Project Grant is a matching funds grant with awards up to $50,000. This year, the grant will be used for door security hardware, prox readers at all locations, which we are in desperate need of. So we're happy that we're able to do that. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. I guess just one question. If I understand, there's a 50-50 grant?
Yes.
So we're putting up 50,000. It's truly a 50-50 because we're putting up 50,000
Exactly.
and we're
Exactly.
getting 50,000 from it. So very
And
good.
it's allows, the locks in the access just needs to be changed.
What is a prox reader?
It's
Mr. Curran?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, what lets you in the door.
That's what I was gonna say.
One thing too is there's some people who are like, well, you don't really need those. You just get keys because blah blah blah. And it's like, well, here's the deal: if you lose a key to one of those doors, you don't know who picked it up. If you lose an access control card or wristband or whatever you
Right.
have,
Mhm.
you just deactivate the card and you move on. You don't have to worry about rekeying everything because somebody misplaced a key. So,
Then we can
yeah.
tell who's coming in and who's in the
Yeah.
building and when, and it's.
Yeah.
Plus when you're carrying all those bags, I don't have time to get a key out, you know,
True.
the teacher bag, you carry like.
Yeah, I
all
always
bags.
have, every day, who sees me? Every day I walk in with a million things in my hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see, she knows, they know. So you just-
Yeah.
It's a good, that's right.
Roll call, please, Zach.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, aye. Stacy,
Aye.
Vinnie,
Aye.
Knoble,
Aye.
Lonsdale.
Aye. Item 10G, contract with Chestnut Health Systems.
This is a pretty neat thing. Counselors from Chestnut Health Services have provided services to students in the Granite City School District for several years. They do that around the area as well. They're a great organization. They see students twice a week at Granite City High School, twice a week at Grigsby, and provide services at Coolidge 1 day a week. This year, Chestnut Health Services is asking for a $10,000 annual fee to help in continuing these services. But due to the extreme difficulty of finding a school social worker and counselor, we've had it posted for, I think, 10 months or something right now. We are recommending the board approve this agreement. Mr. Schooley has reviewed the attached contract. That really is a reasonable price for the amount of support we get from them for our kids. I don't think I could even put a price on what they do for our students. And not being able to find staff right now, this is just a really nice thing for us to be able to do.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I know Chestnut works with student council a lot.
Oh, they do?
And I know that we like the outreach that they do, but I do know that a lot of students do not know what they do, at least like in my classes and stuff, because Chestnut has handed some like items out to raise awareness
Right.
of what their mission is, and
Exactly.
for the most part their mission is like trying to stop teenage drinking and drug use, but a lot of students don't know what that is, so like I hope that we're able to like put that mission out more.
So more
And I know student
communication.
councils had trouble putting it out too sometimes, so.
Okay, well then that's
That's
really good information, because I'll make sure when they come in that there's more, talking about that, we get that out, maybe Warrior Time could even do a little talk on that too. Thank you,
Great.
that's a really good point, I wrote
Great
that.
comment.
Out of curiosity, we had twice at high school, twice at Grigsby, once at Coolidge. Is that based on like need, or how are those frequencies determined?
I know that they've done, high school's always been, I think, twice, but, I don't know why Coolidge is one.
So in the
Except they have two
past,
social workers.
in the past, we've had a referral system
Yeah.
Sure.
with them, and it was just based on need
Based, yeah.
and how many
We
hours
might need to
they,
relook at that.
they needed to be at the
Might
high
have to
school,
relook at
yeah.
that.
And then one comment, just for people watching, our difficulties finding social workers and counselors are not unique to this district, it's
Yeah.
everywhere, so don't feel like it's a Granite City problem per se, I mean, we feel it, but I feel like this is a really great solution, a partnership with the community resource to fill in that gap.
They are local, they help a lot of districts, but I love what you said, so we'll, make sure we figure out how we can get the message out.
And I I just wanna mention, I was sitting in a parent-teacher conference just recently with social worker and building principal and teacher, and it's absolutely incredible what can be accomplished when parents ask for a parent-teacher conference, even if it's not conference time. It's just, when you're noticing a problem, you have to do something about it, and the best way to do that is to contact your social worker at the school or the teacher in that room. So, I was very pleased with the results of our meeting. They're wonderful.
Very good. Thank you for the comments, we appreciate it. Zach, roll call, please.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Vinnie?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer?
Abstain. Item 10H, additional duty assignment for K to 4.
Okay, we spent quite a bit of time, Dr. Keel and I, looking at this and the rest of the ed team. We are asking for additional duty teacher each half hour, which we had during COVID, during the lunch recess hours at K4 buildings. This first year, really back from COVID, students are eating in a cafeteria rather than eating in the cafeteria and classrooms. First and second grade students have really never had a traditional lunch recess. Third graders haven't since they were in first grade, ended in March of 2020. We are really seeing a need for additional supervision at this time, so we'd really like to add that position to those buildings.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I know that during lunch, there's less structure because they're sitting side by side. And this is when kids sometimes get in trouble, and it can be improved if they have more supervision from someone that is watching over the whole room. But yeah, it's that unstructured time that really causes a problem.
Roll call, please, Zach.
Stacy?
Aye.
Vinnie?
Aye.
Knoble?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
None, aye. Wilmsmeyer?
Aye. Item 10I, emergent learning.
I'm going to go through this quickly, but I might refer to Mrs. Watkins. We respectfully request the approval to extend the scope of the contract with Dr. Mark Dixon, his group called Emergent Learning. It includes contracting of 3 behavior technicians. These specialists will potentially be utilized in classrooms at Prather, Maryville, and Grigsby. The need for the classroom support has exceeded, that's an understatement, of our current staffing capabilities. So once again, we're having to try to find resources outside the district because we can't find people to apply. By adding these behavior technicians who are trained really well in these types of behaviors to specific classrooms, we'll be able to provide the needed support for our teachers to keep them, both students and staff, safe. The cost of contracting is $35 per hour. Do you want to add anything to that, Vicki?
Yes, so Dr. Dixon came to the district with me, and we went around to the different schools, made some observations. I know I had mentioned 3 schools, but we may need to switch one of those out, so we need a little flexibility with that. He offered some of his behavior technicians. This is something that they're starting to do in another school district that's local, that's working well for them. The behavior technicians would be in the classroom to be an extra set of hands, but also to specifically target maybe some negative behaviors that are happening, and to also educate our staff in how to manage some of those long term. With this contract, they are asking for a 1 school year commitment to keep the people on staff with us for the school year.
And we don't have our own people to replace them. Our parapro subs are almost zero. We're operating in classrooms without proper staff.
We
So this
continue
is
to
another
look
thing.
for parapros. This is not replacing any type
No.
of paraprofessional position. We talked about that last year when we extended our contract with Maxim to be able to contract with them for paraprofessional support. I reached out to them, and they are actively recruiting for us. They have no one on staff currently able to fill those position needs either. I've also now reached out to the Division of Rehab Services, Vocational Rehab, and so I'm giving them information about applying to our district to be paraprofessionals, or to work as custodians, or to work in the cafeteria. It doesn't have to just be in special education. So that they will be actively recruiting for us as well.
And we're looking at Merce Goodwill as another.
They will partner with the Division of Rehab.
And our unions are aware, so we've already spoken with them too. Like I said, we're not replacing anyone, we just.
It's not
can't find-
replacing, it's absolutely, and if we can get someone in who applies, then that's filling a position.
Right, there's still vacancies.
Now, is this just in the classroom or in the hallways, in the
That would be
cafeteria,
building
everywhere?
This is for
Well,
paraprofessionals.
the behavior technician will be assigned specifically to a classroom.
Okay.
To deal with that. And then if we see that we've made growth in that classroom, then maybe we can look and see where our next situation is, and we can rotate from there. Because once we have them for a 1-year school commitment, then we can use somewhere where they are needed.
Thank you. Approval is recommended.
Yeah, I think we need a motion in a second. I don't think we had it yet.
We did not.
Okay.
So
we.
So we, so moved.
We knew what you
Yeah,
had.
that's-
We knew.
I'm sorry, I was lost there for a minute.
Eric is so good, so be it.
So be it.
I'll
Here's a
second.
coffee.
I don't think
So are we giving that to Eric?
Yeah, we are.
I think you took it.
I think you did.
It's mine.
Okay, owns that one? All right, any additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Vinnie?
Aye.
Knogle?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
None, aye. Stacy?
Aye.
One's aye.
Aye. Item 10J is for the possible appointment of a new board member. We, I guess maybe to kind of fill everybody in there, we've, have a vacancy on the board. We had numerous applicants, which is fantastic, great applicants that did apply for this. We've been going through a process. Tonight, we started, kind of cooled it down. Tonight, we had interviews. We are not yet ready to make an announcement, so we will be talking about that further in executive session at the conclusion of this meeting. We will make an announcement tonight following this executive session. So I know you all don't want to wait up too late, but we will come back on at some point. I don't know what time that's going to be. We do have a couple of other items in executive session tonight. So.
Do we need to vote to table this, or we just
No,
wait?
we just hold it for executive
Okay.
session.
And again, I want to thank everybody who did apply. We great, just phenomenal candidates for this. So
It
we
was wonderful to
appreciate
see
it.
that much interest
Exactly.
in being a school board member.
Yeah, yeah. It's got to be the pay.
Yeah, it's got.
Okay, item number 11, reports and other communication, FOIA requests.
We have received 2 requests under the Freedom of Information Act during the period of August 17th through September 20th, 22. First request was received on August 25th, 22 from Annie Ma. She requested the following information: data regarding the number of student expulsions held in abeyance, or any other term used to describe student expulsions which have been temporarily suspended contingent on student compliance with a behavior contract, alternative school or program, etc. In the district for each school year between 2016 and 2021, including raw data by race, white, black, African American, Hispanic or Latino, Asian, Native, Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, American Indian, Alaskan Native, 2 or more races. Raw data by gender, male, female, other, raw data for students with an IEP and non-IEP, raw data for students by grade in school, pre-K to 12, and raw data for students placed in an alternative educational program. Copies of any policies or standard agreements for expulsions held in abeyance contingent upon placement in an alternative educational program or any other similar term or practice. The second request was received on September 16, 2022 from Jennifer Richards. She requested the following information: records sufficient to show the number of incidents of all student referrals to law enforcement for each of the 2018-19, 19-20, 2021, 21-22 school years. Records sufficient to show the number of incidents of student arrests by law enforcement by each of the 2018-19, 19-20, 2021, 21-22 school years. Records sufficient to show the number of incidents in which a student was cited or ticketed by law enforcement for an ordinance violation for each of 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22. These requests were all handled by the administration.
Very specific and straightforward, so thank you. We appreciate that. At this time, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for exceptions under 2C1, employment and appointment, and employee discipline.
So moved. I said it first.
Second by Eric. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Very good. We are in executive session.